Ah, hi everyone, REVOMARU here, and I am just filled with emotion. I felt that I had to really talk about what we all just saw. um, so Sora's in Smash. I saw the leaks, and I didn't want to believe it because I don't really put too much stock into stock. I don't really put too much stock into leaks typically. I honest to God thought that it was gonna be like a Monhan rep, and I'm not really a huge Monhan fan or player myself. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay, like I know a lot of people want it. And then when I saw like the Mii fighter costumes and it was Doom Guy, and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. It is Sora. It's like everyone's like there. Everyone is there. And Mario was like, what's the light? It's the fire, and he reaches into the flame and he pulls out a keyblade, forced in flame, and phew! I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So I actually wanted to write like a thing about this, but I literally cannot compose myself well enough to write a formal like thing in text. I have to vocalize my thoughts on this one. Kingdom Hearts as a franchise means so much to me, incredibly, for so many reasons, and to celebrate Kingdom Hearts' inclusion, Sora's inclusion, and Smash, not only as like a DLC fighter, but as literally like the last Smash Ultimate fighter. And for what we know, the rumor come out that Smash Ultimate is going to be the very last like Smash game, because Sakurai may or may not retire after this. And it makes so much sense, one of the biggest, most ambitious crossover fighting games, crossover games, full stop, in history, concludes with a character born off huge, weird crossovers, aka Sephiroth fighting, the House of Mouse. Oh my god, I hope I'm not too noisy. Everybody's asleep right now. I'm just too excited. So, yeah, what better way to celebrate Sora's inclusion in Smash by oversharing? So I need everybody to go back really quick. I need everybody to go back to like the early 2000s. I need everyone to go back to the early 2000s, because I'm gonna paint a picture and I gotta tell you about how much Sora in Smash means to me and how much Kingdom Hearts as a franchise means to me. So, wee baby REVOMARU, young tiny baby, Avatar cycles, God of Revolution and all, is new to the internet, right? And my older sister is very into LiveJournal and fanfiction.net at the time. So I'm in like primary school, I guess. And yeah, basically I'm in primary school, and my sister, like, through some way, some mixture of LiveJournal, fanfiction.net, and DeviantArt, introduces me to yaoi. Thanks. Kingdom Hearts 2 yaoi. Kingdom Hearts 2 yaoi. Yeah. Definitely this is one of those, like, oh man, like this is a deep cut. My older sister introduces me to Kingdom Hearts yaoi and Kingdom Hearts 2 first. So we both get really into it, and I remember we ended up begging my mom. Like, can you please buy us this Kingdom Hearts game? It's for the PlayStation 2. We have Dad's old PlayStation 2. We can hook it up to the TV here, like this little boxy Sony CRT, right? And my mom, bless her, is like, sure, let's do it. So she ends up going to one of the local malls, and she ends up getting like she ends up calling me and she's like, is it Kingdom Hearts 1 or Kingdom Hearts 2? And I can't remember. I just know I really liked Organization 13. So I was like, sure, it's Kingdom Hearts 1. And then she buys it. She comes back and she, you know, she gives it to us, and then she goes to get ready for dinner. And my sister and I pop it in, and it doesn't have our hot anime boys from Organization 13. We get Donald Duck, and I'm like, who is that? Why is he here? You know, the main draw of Kingdom Hearts is the Disney crossover, and somehow I had completely missed the Disney crossover aspect because I was dumb. So anyway, my sister and I, we play through Kingdom Hearts 1 on and off, and it becomes basically like our favorite game. And at the same time, we get really involved in the fandom online on DeviantArt and LiveJournal specifically. So, you know, at this time, I was already partially invested in writing fan fiction and doing fan art, so this wasn't like completely out of my wheelhouse. But, you know, hot anime boys in your area, I was super into that, right? And, so like, we played through it, and I remember the whole time I'm thinking, alright, where's my hot Organization 13 boys? For the reference, I was a huge shipper involving like Zexion. So the story's gonna have a really terrible middle part for a second. I really liked Zexion because my sister was like a self-proclaimed emo, so I was like, oh, I like emo boys too. so we played through Kingdom Hearts 1. And Zexion ain't there, man. There's not even any mention of Org 13. So, you know, we kind of begged my mom, like, okay, like some weeks later, can you please buy Kingdom Hearts 2? And she's like, I just bought you Kingdom Hearts. And we're like, yeah, but that was the first one. Can you please buy us the second one? And bear in mind, like at this time in Malaysia, right, student discount things are like a big deal. So, you know, you'd go to the store and you'd say like, I want to buy this game. And then like then the uncle will go to the back, and then, you know, you hear like the whirring of a computer, then you hear like the whirring of the printer going and there's like then, you know, after a few minutes you see them, they put the sticker on the CD, and then they go, 10 ringgit, I know. So, you know, that was what it was. So my mom would have to wait and everything. So, you know, she got us Kingdom Hearts 2 finally, along with a bunch of like Guitar Hero spin-offs. I remember I was really into Rock the 80s at one point because I really liked that one character, Pandora. But anyway, so Kingdom Hearts. So we finally got Kingdom Hearts 2. And I remember, spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 2, I remember when we first started playing the game and Roxas popped out, I was like, where's Sora? Did Mom buy us like the wrong game? And then, you know how there's all those dream sequences with Roxas in the beginning. And, you know, it's like all the like the TV thing. I thought the TV was broken. I thought we had broke the TV. Truth be told, that little Sony CRT actually belonged to another one of my family members. So I was like, oh my god, we broke like our aunt's TV. She's gonna kill us. She's gonna kill us. We broke her TV. Oh my god. And then, you know, then it turns out it was like a gimmick of the game. So, you know, I was like, oh my god, is that like a fourth wall break? Fancy. But yeah, then, dude, we played the whole game. I'm looking for Zexion. Zexion doesn't appear in Kingdom Hearts 2. Big spoiler, because Zexion's like dead by Kingdom Hearts 2. So I'm like, blah. And then like sometime later, I finally managed to get my hands on a copy of Chain of Memories for the Game Boy, which I was playing on my Game Boy Advance SP that I had recently gotten because my Game Boy Color had finally died. So I was able to get an SP as a birthday gift, and it was a big deal. Because all my friends had a Game Boy Advance, and I was the first one to get an SP, so I was like the cool kid. Yeah. So I finally got my hands on Chain of Memories, and there was Zexion in all its pixelated glory, and I remember thinking like, this is the anime boy that half of LiveJournal was like fawning over. Yeah, I felt such disappointment. But you know, like I also really like Demix. I also really like, I did ship like Zexion and Demix together at one point. I remember that was like a big deal for me. When I think about these old ships of mine and everything, I'm like, woof, you know? Gosh. I was thrust so heavily into fandom culture at the time because it's like, you know, Kingdom Hearts, deep cut, Kingdom Hearts was like a staple of a lot of, I don't know, yaoi fandom wars at one point. I remember a lot of that. And I remember getting into like the YouTube poops. I used to really like, bear in mind, at this point, I was like a tween, okay? So I was like a tween. REVOMARU was a tween at one point. Who knew? Tween VTuber. And I really liked, I liked what I liked, you know? Because other people liked it. And so here's the fun part of the lore. Kingdom Hearts, the fandom part of me led me to meet some of my best friends. I remember I had just transferred to a new school and I was so scared, and it was a horrible year for me. Like, it was an absolutely horrible year. I had transferred in to a new school at the start of Primary 5, and it was absolutely awful year for me and everything. So Primary 6 came around and I had the fullest intent of just keeping my head down. And then, like, you know, I'm really into Kingdom Hearts and everybody knows me as the weird anime kid. I was the one who would not study for her exams but stay up learning how to do her hair yukai. Basically, that was it. So anyway, I was really into Kingdom Hearts, and I remember one of my friends, well, we weren't friends yet. There was this girl in my class who had a binder, and it had a printed out piece of Kingdom Hearts fan art, which I recognized down to the artist. I remember we had like a break, and I went up to her and I was like, "Is that Manda-chan?" And she was so excited, and we started talking about Kingdom Hearts and everything. We were super excited about that, and then she later introduced me to another girl from another class, and that girl later became one of my closest friends. So you know, without the power of friendship, I truly would not have made one of my closest friends. Another instance of Kingdom Hearts being a huge influence on me was when I was super deep into Kingdom Hearts, and I was like all over it on MSN Messenger using MSN Plus. Woo. I remember I was talking to one of my friends, and she had really just gotten into the Persona franchise, and I remember she was trying to introduce me to P3, I think, at that time, and I was trying to introduce her to KH2 at the time, and we just, you know, eventually, I remember we got into this huge fight because she was like, "Why could you accept that I just don't like it?" And like we stopped talking for a bit. It was like really rough, you know. Can you imagine? It's like you're like besties, you're like childhood besties, and then one of your friends straight up is like, "Can't you just accept that I don't like some of the things that you like?" And you know, as a kid, your friendship is completely determined almost by like your mutual interests. How's it supposed to make you feel? Like, obviously we've recovered from it because we're still super close even to this day, you know. But it was such a thing for me, and then I grew to dislike the Kingdom Hearts franchise for a little bit purely because of that. But, you know, it's been great, and I remember after I got together, like, close friends with that girl from the other class I had mentioned earlier, she also later introduced me to the local ACG, anime, comics, and game scene, and I was so shocked. I was like, oh my god, people, like, go to like anime conventions and they just like talk about Kingdom Hearts and they cosplay as Kingdom Hearts and they sell things with Kingdom Hearts. It was such a big deal to me, and that ended up changing the trajectory of my life for so long. I mean, in a huge way, because as I got older and I also started to get invested in game development, more so than just being a player, but as like a developer, I started to really appreciate all the little things about the game. Like, one of the biggest things is like when you played KH across the different systems. My favorite game, by the way, is actually Birth by Sleep. I really liked BBS because I love my PSP. I love my PSP to death. And BBS was a huge deal for me. I actually played it twice because I had a hacked PSP, and I had played BBS in Japanese, and then I replayed it in English. And it wasn't even like the official English version. I think it was like a fan-made patch. But anyway, so I really like how the game changes like subtly between each installment. I really like the character's progression. I think that Kingdom Hearts is hands down one of the most convoluted franchises in all of existence, and I think nobody will argue with me on that. A part of me is I want to become a game developer just so I can meet Nomura and I can tell him, like, I hate Kingdom Hearts with a burning passion. It is one of my favorite franchises ever. Is that kind of thing, you know? I want to be the kind of, like, developer, the kind of creator that makes something incredibly convoluted. I want to be up there in terms of, like, the big franchises with, like, Nomura, Kinoko Nasu, that kind of thing. Like, you know, these are the things that I really wanted to do. Sidetracking again, Kingdom Hearts as a franchise is like, it's such a big representative of my childhood, I think, because it was something that stuck with me through so many transitions in my life. Like, I've been excited for every installment that came out. Like when I played KH3, admittedly, I didn't have the same childhood sparkle in my eye. I was a different person already, you know? It's been a good long time between 2 and 3. I wasn't able to get into the mobile games because I didn't know that, I don't know, co-op existed, so I couldn't, like, install it on my phone or whatever. There's stuff like I still haven't gotten any of the secret endings. I'm not that good of a player. I played BBS on, like, Proud Mode for literally the first time earlier this year. I've never played anything else on Proud Mode before. But, like, oh my god, come on. The Kingdom Hearts series is what introduced me to Final Fantasy. I didn't know that Cloud and Leon were from, like, 2 different FF games until, like, I read their wiki articles. Because I just thought that they were, like, 2 hot anime boys who liked each other because of all the FF.net that I consumed. And then when I found out they were from different games and they never met, I was like, what? Then when I got Dissidia, I was like, no, my first actual Final Fantasy game was Crisis Core, and I found out, like, Zack is not playable in, like, 7. I was like, oh my god. But I gotta play more FF games, to be honest. And none of you tell me to play, like, the MMO, okay? Everyone's tried. I'll get there eventually, we'll see. But I'm super duper rambling, I'm so sorry. It means so much to me, and to see it in something like Smash. And the lore goes for Smash is actually, I'm actually, like, a super hardcore Sony fan girl, I guess. You know, the PS1 was, like, my first console that I played on, even though I had a Game Boy that, like, I could also play on, but, like, the one that made the most impact on me was the PSX. And my first games, respectively, were Crash Bandicoot 3, Crash Team Racing, and I cannot remember exactly, but one of the Metal Slug installments. And it definitely was, like, impact, boom, you know, after that. And then video games have always been a big presence in my life, and then, like, I remember towards the end of, like, uni, I ended up picking up a Switch specifically for Smash under the guise of, like, this is gonna be research for, like, video games in the future. And then I got, like, really invested into it, and I started to get really into Nintendo more so, because before that, like, before the Switch, I only owned Nintendo handhelds. I got a 3DS XL as a birthday gift. Before that, I had bought myself a DS Lite, which unfortunately got lost when I moved once, which is so sad because that was my own money that went to it. Oops, excuse me. Excuse me. And then, like, before that, I had my SP, and then I had a color. I also bought a micro off somebody a couple years back, but the battery's, like, kind of shot. But anyway, so, you know, I got really into Smash as a concept because I really liked the idea of it being such a fighting game that was less intimidating because of the control scheme and also the character roster. In terms of fighting games, I'm actually a big fan of Tekken. My first Tekken was actually, like, Tekken 5, I think. And I wasn't really good at fighting games beyond that before. I also really want to get invested into the FGC in the future. But yeah, so Smash really appealed to me in its ease of play in that sense. You know, it was very much something like easy to play, difficult to master. I thought that was super neat. And then, you know, the idea of, like, wiping out a whole stage of, like, Kirby is one of the funniest things to me. I think that's really, really great. And, you know, getting more and more into, like, what the fandom likes and all of that, you know, it's neat. And then every time there was a Smash rep that I personally recognized from parts of my childhood, always felt really good. That was how I felt about Kazuya. That was how I felt about not really Steve. I'm not a huge Minecraft person, but it was really cool to see Steve and Alex's inclusion as well. I lost it at Sans. Sans, that is lore for like another day, because Sans was revealed the day of one of the most important days of my university life, and Megalovania has become like a unofficial theme song for me, among me and my friends. Yeah, I saw the leaks. I didn't think it was gonna be true, and I just about started crying when I saw Sora. It sounds so silly. It sounds so silly to be like, oh, this character that, you know, I like is in this other game that I like. But these characters hold special meaning in our lives. They hold such sentimental value, and seeing them be accepted with open arms into something else that you enjoy is always going to be a treat. Like, I can make all of the Sora versus Sans jokes I want now, and that's really great. Maybe one day I'll like stream Smash if I can actually get, you know, everything to work out. I would love to do that. But it's just I'm just really basking in the idea of, like, I don't know, my childhood really living on like this. You know, I will cry again at the end of the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts. It doesn't feel like it's been 20 years, by the way. I thought it was gonna be less. How old was I when I started playing Kingdom Hearts? What the heck? So, you know, catch me making another rambly wambly like this once KH like 20th anniversary is out and everything. And I'll do the same for like Persona 25th anniversary, because, you know, some people were joking that, oh, we might finally get like a P2 remaster. Please, God, give us the P2 remasters. I need to see Ikashi Mishina in like 3D, please. Again, that's for like another day. But I'm just really happy, and I wanted to share that with all of you. So I hope everyone's having a great night. I'm gonna have hell trying to edit this, and I will catch you all the next time I do. Have a marvelous evening, and I'll see you all later. Bye!